Hello everyone, welcome to another custom mock ship re-review. I've already covered the Mist Hunter before. This is one of the 4 bounty hunters ships that I've showcased several times before. However, this is going to be the definitive review of it. So this is the ship that is the least accurate to the source material, that being the Legends material that the Mist Hunter appears in. It mostly appears in books and the tabletop games, and I believe it also appears in Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, which is really cool. It looks completely different in that game because it's based on the actual version. This is just kind of my own creation, but it's complicated. This is going to be a longer video because I'm going to show you all of this and kind of talk about the design of it. So yeah, it's going to be a bit longer because I want to show everything and talk about everything. So hopefully I can. Here's the ship itself. You might be able to notice the forward angling in the back. That's because one of my other mocks is right next to this. But anyway, here's the ship. It's obviously very boxy to begin with. That is because this was actually based... This used to be my character Zenith's starship. It was called the Millennium Cruiser, and it was supposed to be it was a very big ripoff of the Millennium Falcon. And so a lot of the design, a lot of the gray that you see is actually carried over from that design. So it's not a 100%, replaced, but it's pretty much designed to be Zuckuss and Forlom's ship, which of course it is in the Legends material. That's not, canon. But anyway, I'm going to briefly show the 2 minifigs here. We've got Zuckuss and Forlom, the 2 minifigures. These are the bounty hunters that were hired by Vader in Empire Strikes Back. They actually appear in one set. Well, Zuckuss does. He comes in the 20th Anniversary Slave 1, and so does Forlom. He also appears in the Bounty Hunter Battle Pack. Forlom does. So these are very important for the ship here, because obviously this is Zuckuss's ship, and Forlom also partners with Zuckuss, so they travel together on this ship. And there they are. That's just the scale of it. So you can see it's pretty good size. I didn't want to make it too huge, but it's pretty good. I'll just take them away for now. I wanted to show this thing. It's gonna be kind of hard to show you like around it because it's a very long ship. Also, apologies for the sound in the back. Here it is. You can see it does have some clear windows. You can see a little bit of the inside. There's the back of it with a lot of color. Let's see. Let's put this over here. It's very boxy. I know. It's very rectangular. There's a reason for that. I wanted something that was like long, but wasn't ridiculously long. If that makes any sense. Like, I wanted it to be like displayable and like able to fit the figures. So for instance, if it was like a normal Lego set maybe, then it might be too short for the figures. So I wanted it to be tall and long, so that way it could be able to fit the figures. And that's kind of where it came from, because I really wanted to build a ship for Forlom and Zuckuss specifically, because I kept reading about the Mist Hunter, and specifically Tales of the Bounty Hunters, which is a book from 1996, I believe. And I kept reading about the Mist Hunter, and I wanted to build it, and so I built my own version. And so this is what that is, essentially. Hopefully I can show you everything. It's going to be kind of difficult, but hopefully we'll get into it here. I'm going to talk about the outside first. I'm going to talk about all the designs on the outside. You'll notice that there are 2 blasters here. That's actually spring-loaded shooter pieces right here. Maybe you can see if I zoom in here. These are spring-loaded shooter pieces. If I lift the ship up, you can see it more clearly. I added those because I wanted to add some kind of like defense to this. So that's the first line of defense, is these 2 cannons that are on the front of the Mist Hunter. And I'll talk about the windshield in a minute. This up here, this is a satellite dish. It's meant to like communicate data. That's what I put on there. That was on the original the Millennium Cruiser. So I just carried it over from there. I think it looks fine, looks good. Nothing too fancy. This is the final version. So a lot of it was really multicolored, especially in the beginning. It was like it was just like this kind of random hodgepodge of gray and dark gray and black, and it was not the best looking, but I eventually got it to where it is now, where it's like the final version, which I wanted. So you'll notice there's a lot of different colors. There's mostly gray here, and then you'll notice there's some dark gray, and there's a lot of black as well. And then there's some nougat right here, which Zuckuss painted on. So on the sides here, you notice the nougat here. And you may notice another defense, another weapon. Right here, there are these, I guess this is a mini cannon. And there are two of those on, there's one on the other side. So this is another, like, weapon. So they can defend themselves against another threat. And there's more weapons. Don't worry, there's more. There's actually, I'll show you a couple ones here. I put these two stud shooters as extra options in case they want to switch out the weapons for a specific mission. There we go. On the back is interesting. This is where the design is very, it's just very unique. So you may think that these are the engines right here, right? These three things. Well, these are actually canisters. Like, they're kind of like containers to hold equipment. And so I wanted to have these be pink, because pink is one of my favorite colors, to be honest. And I wanted to have a little bit of that to brighten the back of it up. Originally, these were all red, and so it was interesting to kind of change that. And so here are where the actual engines are. These right here, these parts down here, with the blue, that's the actual engine. So right here is like this flat area. And I wanted it to be flat so that minifigures could interact with these containers when the ship is landed. Obviously, you don't want to be, outside in the atmosphere and space when you're, flying. So when the ship is flying, these become pressurized and whatever's in here is protected, these canisters. What's cool about those is that I designed them to be like escape pods as well. So there's the engines here as well. Normally they don't come off, but if it's an emergency, Zuckuss and Forlom can each go into one of these pods and then blast off the ship. Then it's kind of permanent though, so Zuckuss and Forlom don't use these containers as escape pods very much, so they kind of just end up being containers to hold the weapons and things. Speaking of that, there are some more weapons here. We'll take a look at those in a minute, but I wanted to take a look at this. This in the middle. This one's well, they're all removable. So this is what it looks like. They're actually just old castle pieces in dark gray with some parts on top of them. So this can be switched out with this, which is a much heavier containment, and you open it up, there's nothing in there. But normally, a lot of their most precious cargo gets stored in here, and then this goes in the middle here. So it's pretty cool. This one has blue engines, so it's different. So this was what was originally on the Mist Hunter, or on the Millennium Cruiser. So Zuckuss and Forlom, well, Zuckuss bought it from me, and then he and Forlom converted it, and that's why it looks like this, because that's their own design of it. You notice there's a big empty space. That's for figures if they want to interact with it. And yeah, let's move on to some of the... I guess we'll move on to the front of it. This is interesting. This is the... I actually changed this really recently. This windshield is actually asymmetrical. You'll notice the front of it is like different. Like this is a much bigger window, and then this is a smaller one with a smaller piece. I kind of like that. You can see a little bit of the inside. You can see a little bit of the control stick and then a little bit of the chair. And the windshield does kind of extend to the sides. You can see here. You can kind of see, not really, you can kind of see inside. There you go. You can see a little bit of that. I wanted to have a little bit of the outside be visible when you're inside of it. So when they're inside, they can see a little bit of the outside as well, which is kind of nice. There is a landing ramp. It's actually under here. There's also landing gear, which I didn't show properly. So that's what these 1x2 bricks are. So you can see that they have light gray and then dark gray on the bottom. That's because they're dirty on the bottom. They've been dirty for years. And so those can actually retract up. They can lift up. So when the ship, takes off, then they can be able to, retract and not look silly when they're in the air. Wanted to show the bottom. You can see the bottom is pretty consistent. You might notice the landing ramp in the middle there. Let me see if I can take that out. Hopefully, let me grab this and take this. Hopefully I can get this to cooperate. There we go. So I'm going to set this down so you can see the landing ramp. I can just pop it down like that. That's how you get in there. I love this. This is probably my favorite feature. You can actually enter. So if Zuckuss wants to go up into the ship, he can enter, and so can Forlom. So that's how they get into the ship. And obviously when they fly, it retracts. So that's another, cool thing. I wanted to show the what is it called? The top detailing. Sorry, I couldn't think of that for whatever reason. Let me get the tripod so I can show you the detail that's on the top, actually. Let me kind of carry this, put this up here so I can show you what the top detailing is. Hopefully you can see everything clearly. This is the top detailing. It's not too, unique. It's just okay. But I wanted to make it consistent. So here is the what is it called? The satellite dish. Sorry, I couldn't think of that. There's a lot of this is light gray. I added these recently. There's a lot of vents to facilitate the air in the inside. Because on the inside of this, it's actually ammonia. It's not oxygen. So there's no oxygen inside. There's instead ammonia, so Zuckuss can breathe. And obviously, Forlom being a droid, that's fine. We'll get more into that when we get into the inside. There are some smooth pieces here, some bright lime green. Kind of, that was Zuckuss's detailing to add to this, make it a little bit bright on the top of it. We've got a hatch that at the moment doesn't work. I might have a working hatch at some point. I might put that in. But for now, it's just closed off. You can see some more vents, some dark red. There's the back of it. You can see it's not that, unique. There's the tops of the storage containers. But I wanted to show there's a couple more weapons. So in addition to the cannons and those like stud shooters on the front and the other stud shooters, there's actually a quad laser cannon which can be hooked up to here. It's really big. It's kind of cumbersome. Honestly, this is really only used for dangerous missions because this thing is powerful. It can be aimed and rotated. But the one I prefer to use, and I think Zuckuss agrees, is the ion cannon, which can go here, and that is much deadlier. And it's a really cool build. I like how it came out, and that is what they normally use pretty much. It's the ion cannon. So just a couple of options there for the top. That's what this is for, this little jumper piece here. So that's why it just sits there, because it's for other weapons. Anyway, that's pretty much the, I guess that's the, sorry about that. I guess that's the top detail. Might as well look inside the interior. There is an interior to this. It's pretty easy to access. All you got to do is lift this part off. It kind of comes off in sections. Let's see. If I just open this, pull these apart. These just come apart like that. And here's the inside. It's a little hard to see. Let me take this part off as well. On the back. The back door can open up. It can, that's how you get access to the storage containers. Might as well, you know what? I'll start at the front. So here's the front of it. Let me see if I can get you a better look. It's a little hard to see in there. Sorry. There is some printed pieces. There is a chair that can rotate. There's another chair for Zuckuss. Forlom actually does most of the piloting, surprisingly. Let me get this so I can show you. So here is the inside here. You'll notice there's some printed parts. There's actually a lot of printed parts. There's the, right here, there's the control, yoke, I guess. There's some printed parts. You can see the outside there. That's what Zuckuss and Forlom see. Kind of move it over here to the side. So you can see some more printed parts. There's lots of brown on the floor. There's a rifle here. There's another gun, one of Zuckuss's spare guns. There is a container with money inside. It's a little hard to see, but there's some printed money in there. It's interesting. There is another rifle. There is the ammonia dispenser. So that's what I was talking about earlier. When Zuckuss comes in here, he breathes ammonia because he can't handle oxygen. So that's what that is for. I like that. I added that later on. You can see the nougat stripe from the outside. There's another snare gun. Zuckuss has a lot of guns, and so does Forlon. There's another gun up here, like a rifle. Old style. There's a little hollow, what is this, a Dejeric table? Yeah. And there's a chair back there. And there is the landing ramp. You'll notice from the outside, there's Forlon there. You can see he can actually get up in here. Both of them can, go on here. And that's what that looks like when it's closed. So that's what it looks like when it's like that. So, yeah, hopefully you can see everything. This can actually open up. I don't know if I want to. It might break. It's a little fiddly, but yeah, it can come up. There you go. That whole section lifts off, and you can get access to the back here. These are empty right now, storage containers. They don't do a whole lot right now. They actually hold most of the weapons that I showed you earlier, so that's where they go. And like I said, they can also be used as escape pods, so you can put someone in there and have them lift off. Obviously, this one also works, so that's like I said earlier. But that's the entire Mist Hunter, like, opened up. Like, let me show you the entire thing. All the interior exposed. It's pretty cool. Let me kind of put this down so that I can put this back down here before this falls apart. So let me just put everything back together here. Hopefully you enjoyed that tour. I particularly enjoyed building the interior because I specialize kind of in interior detailing. And so I wanted to make this as interactive as possible for the minifigs, as well as for myself whenever I'm like using this in anything. I love how it turned out. Again, it's the least accurate to the Legends material. Like, it's not really accurate at all to the actual design of the ship, which is very different looking to this. I did that on purpose. I didn't really like, I don't love the way the Mist Hunter looks, like, as a design. I think it looks not nearly as good as the other ones. Hopefully I can, sorry, I'm trying to get the ramp down. There you go. Anyway, I just don't like I don't love the way that it looks, like, as a design in the universe. So I made my own version. This is what I prefer to use as the Mist Hunter. I think it turned out great. The main complaint I know is going to be that it's very rectangular. I did that on purpose. I wanted to make it very, like, roomy for the figures. Hopefully that makes sense. And I loved building all the weapons and stuff, and I think it's kind of neat. I love this one. This is probably the one that I had the most, like, creative input on, because I kind of just transformed it from what it once was into a different design, which I loved. And it was really fun designing this, like making all the weapons and all the, like, touches of, like, the paint and the canisters and the landing gear and the ramp and all the cool little designs. The interior was the most fun to design for sure. Out of all of these ships, I think this one, the Mist Hunter, it was the most fun designing this one. Like, I have the most attachment to this one because I don't know, I just had the most creative process on it. I don't know. It just ended up like that. And so I proudly display it. I'll probably change a few tiny things, but I think this is probably going to be the way it appears in my collection. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it was, like, informative. I know it was longer, right? Because I wanted to show you everything. I'm going to do a re-review of the other 3 ships as well as some other MOCs that I have. Those videos will be coming up. Hope you enjoyed this. Let me know, have you built a custom bounty hunter ship? Let me know. If you have, what did you think about this ship in particular? Do you think it's bad? Do you think it's good? What do you think? Any criticism would be welcome. Again, thanks for watching. This is the Mist Hunter re-review. I have the other ones planned, and I will see you for those. Thank you so much for watching this. Let me know what you think. Take care, and have an awesome day.